I'm Bill Palmer. I'm the editorial director of the Hanleywood Commercial Construction Group and editor of Concrete Construction Magazine. We're here this morning to introduce you to the 2014 most influential people in the concrete industry. It's my great pleasure and honor to do this and to let you know who some of these people are and a little bit about what they've done that we think is so special for our industry. We're going to recognize a group of people whose effective and creative approaches have made significant impacts to the concrete industry. All share a restlessness, a combination of a refusal to accept the status quo just because that's the way it's always been done, frustration with change that is slow to come, and a determination to keep the concrete industry competitive in the 21st century by using technology and other approaches. We want to applaud these influencers, and each has a distinct approach, a dedication to empowering and advancing our industry. First up, we have Keith Wayne. Keith is the president of Wayne Brothers. He doesn't adopt new technology blindly, but he has been willing to move forward a little earlier than some contractors, and that's one of the secrets to his company's success. He says he's a pretty harsh critic and skeptic about new technology. It must work well and consistently and be practical to use in a broad range of applications. That said, Wayne Brothers has moved aggressively into the use of new technology and new approaches, including building information modeling, BIM, self-consolidating concrete, laser-guided equipment, modular European formwork, and they recently started constructing ductile-crete floor slabs. On the strength of the efficiencies from technology and a diversified approach, including site work and vertical farming, Wayne Brothers broke into ENR's top 20 concrete firms in 2014. Keith said, "We're proud of that, but humble. We've had great blessings and good clients who continue to call us to ask us to work for them. The old adage works for us. The best way to sell your next job is your last job." For showing contractors how to succeed, Keith Wayne is one of this year's most influential people in the concrete industry. You may see the covers around with his face on it, and we've got one for him here.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Let me say a couple of words.
Thank you, Bill. I want to thank Hanleywood and Concrete Construction for this honor, and it really is an honor. Not sure I deserve it, but I guess I'll take it. And the guys back home, all 350 or so of my employees who really deserve the credit for whatever we're accomplishing, and I am very pleased to be a part of this industry. This year will mark our 30th year in the concrete construction business, and it's always a pleasure to come here and to this show, and we appreciate everything that all of the sponsors of the World of Concrete does for the industry by bringing us together where we can learn and push our industry forward. So it's really a privilege for Michelle, my wife, is here today, for both of us to come and accept this award on behalf of our employees. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Elise Martini. Wow, you've got a crowd. Yeah. Women make up only 2.2% of the tradespeople in the construction industry, according to the Center for Construction Research and Training. I think that in these days when construction firms are really facing shortages in the workforce, actively recruiting women makes a lot of sense. And it seems like a logical place to start looking for workers. Elise, who is the business manager of the Greater Kansas City Building and Construction Trades Council, is certainly doing her part. She said, "We have to get outside the box about who to hire. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to meet the demand. We've got to market ourselves better and let young people know there are opportunities in construction. We've got to change the mindset." For helping to change the mindset, one young person at a time, Elise Martini is one of our most influential people in 2014.
Wow. Wow, thank you, Bill. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate this, guys. And my sisters out there, we've got to change the culture. My big thanks to the Operative Plasters and Cement Masons International. A woman would have never been where she is without the opportunities of organized labor that gave us, as well as my local. I've got to give a big hand out to my dad's company and now my brothers who got me to where I'm at today. And then the best agent in the world, Mike Murray, who's just phenomenal. Guys, thank you all for being here. It is a true honor, and thank you very much.
So we could only have one person on the cover of the actual magazine, but we made a cover for you too. Next up is Ralph Spar. Ralph Spar started in the construction industry as an apprentice bricklayer. It's good to start near the bottom. That's a good place. He is now and has been for some time director of sales for Miva Formwork Systems. He said formwork is a special part of the construction concrete business, but it's used in all parts. A few years ago, he got involved in the American Concrete Institute's formwork committees. After looking at the various guides and documents such as ACI 347 and 301 and 117, he realized that there was no clarity on the subject of surface texture. His goal was to define the various aspects of a formed surface, and the result was the new ACI 347.3 Guide to Formed Concrete Surfaces. Now, this document may not be perfect yet, as some people have pointed out, but it's a great starting point, and I think it's something that's going to make a difference in our business. Ralph said it will take some time to gain experience with this, but I believe it will put contractors in a better position with the architect or engineer. It will push people to sit together as a team. Talking together is always the best way. For pushing us a step further, Ralph Spar is one of this year's most influential people.
Thank you very much to Concrete Construction and its team, to Henley Wood. It's a real great honor for me. To give you a little bit background, I was sitting on a Saturday at lunchtime together with my wife when I got this email from Bill. I could not even believe it. But also thank you to the ACI 347 committee. Maybe some members are around in the public. We have done that over the last 7 years. We started that because we were convinced that it will drive the industry forward, and with this guide we'll have a summary and a basis for understanding what does it mean if an architect says, I would like to have this and this surface, and for the contractors how to reach that surface with texture, with facing and construction joints, with color uniformity, and tackling all these things. Have a look into that, and we will step forward from that, and I'm sure it's a good basis for the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great pleasure. Next up, we have Mark Pernicone. Mark is the executive director of the Charles Pankow Foundation, and I feel that he embodies the spirit and passion of its founder, Charlie Pankow, to inspire new and better ways to build. He accepted the position in 2012 after having worked for 13 years as a vice president of the Pankow companies. He carries out Pankow's mission to advance market-driven innovation. His vision of the construction industry's challenge is clear. He said, we are a gigantic industry that does very little research, and we have no mechanism in place to address the industry's challenges. Any changes are made incrementally and very slowly, as we all know. But to push that change along, one focus of the Pankow Foundation has been building information modeling. They've invested roughly $2 million in grants to improve the interoperability of BIM over the past few years. For leading the charge on research in our industry, Mark Pernicone is one of the industry's most influential people, not only for Concrete Construction Magazine, but also for the Concrete Producer.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Hanley Wood and Concrete Construction Magazine. Any recognition of me is really a recognition of the Charles Pankow Foundation and really the legacy of Charles Pankow. I feel extremely blessed to be able to do this job. I knew Charlie, and I understood his vision of innovation. Our vision statement is actually quite simple. We try to bring to the AEC industry a better way to design and build, and we try to do that through research. BIM has certainly been one of our focuses. Since we don't know any better, what we've recently taken on is to overhaul the entire reinforced concrete code through a massive research project. So we appreciate your support, and we appreciate the recognition and the kind words. Thank you, Bill.
Our next most innovative person is Robert Finfrock. He wasn't able to be here today, but I wanted to tell you a little about him. He is Finfrock Industries is a precaster in Florida. They have discovered great ways to capture efficiencies in the design, construction, and production, including 3D modeling and BIM. It's a fully integrated design, manufacture, and build operation using lasers and RFID. Finfrock says we're able to quote a hard competitive price because we don't have change orders, and the accuracy of 3D modeling virtually eliminates mistakes. For this, he is one of the concrete producers most influential in 2014. Next, we want to recognize Dr. Richard Seishi. Rich is the executive director of the Texas Aggregate and Concrete Association. In 1998, while he was director of engineering and quality control for ready-mix and aggregate producer Lattimore Materials in McKinney, Texas, he realized he couldn't just stand by and wait for change to happen. He said, standards have such an enormous impact on our business, I had to get involved. That led him to take on the role of subcommittee chair of ASTM C09.40 on ready-mix concrete, which is responsible for what he calls one of the big dogs in ASTM's catalog, which is C94, standard specification for ready-mix concrete. Under his leadership, the committee has been able to make some significant changes to C94, including getting rid of the old 94-pound sack specification, allowing water to be added in transit, and allowing concrete to remain acceptable after 300 revolutions, which is a major change in our business. It's just because it went around 301 times doesn't mean it's not good anymore. Now producers and contractors can, as he said, take this new document to specifiers who are still operating in the old ways and ask them to update their practices. For all this, Rich is one of our most influential people in 2014.
Thank you. Thank you again to Hanley Wood. Thank you to Concrete Producer. It's a tremendous honor to be welcomed into a very, very selective club for influencers in our industry. And thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Yep. Our final influencer is the SAE Ready Mix Concrete Truck Safety Committee. Now for the first time, producers and truck manufacturers have a common set of standards for truck design and signage based on the work of a small group of volunteers led by Roger Lackalore, Director of Product Safety for Oshkosh, and including Gary Mullings, Senior Vice President of Operations and Compliance at the National Ready Mix Concrete Association. With members representing truck manufacturers, the ready mix industry, and other stakeholders, this committee came up with safety standards for ready mix trucks and standard signage on trucks that's increasing safety across the industry. For this important feat, we have named the SAE Ready Mix Concrete Truck Safety Committee one of this year's top influencers for the concrete producer. Is Gary Mullings here? No? I guess not. Okay. Okay. That's our class of 2014, 2015. So thanks for coming, and congratulations to everybody. Thank you.